G'day tubers and welcome to part 36. How are we all? All good, I hope. Let's get right in. This is the road to Broken Hill, and believe it or not, it is belting bloody rain ever since we left Mildura. Coming up, you'll see a roadhouse here. This is Coomba, and that's about halfway, and it stopped raining around there, and just got a few spits for the rest of the way. We nearly got a kangaroo that come running out of nowhere, and we nearly got two emus that come running out of nowhere. So there's a bit of wildlife up here, but pretty quiet out here. There's only the one stop on the way, and so if you're leaving Mildura, make sure you got fuel for about 200 k's because you're going to need it. But very good. Let's get right into this, guys. Well, tubers, welcome to Broken Hill. What can we say about Broken Hill? Obviously, it's a mining town. First sort of inhabited by white man in about 1883 when they found that there was lead ore, silver ore, or anything else you can think of. All sorts of stuff here. Obviously made steel for a long time too, I think, when silver and lead started to run out. But typical mining town. Lots of nice little things to see and do. Very big also, not that I looked at it because I'm into that sort of thing, but very big on its art. A lot of well-known artists, or Australian artists, have come from this area. So I think there's quite a few museums and that sort of thing if you're into that. Wasn't my scene. I'm more your museum sort of bloke, as you will find out, but or as you already know. But a bit of a not a big drive to get here from Mildura, but very quiet, lonely drive. Interesting place, tubers, this one. Read the inscription. This is the only place in World War I where there was hostilities on Australian soil. A couple of Turkish sympathisers killed a few passengers on what's called the picnic train. Tubers, this train is what's known as, it's not in service anymore, it's what's known as the Silver City Comet, and it ran from 1937 to 1989 between Parkes and Broken Hill. Its main claim to fame was that it's the first air-conditioned train in Australia, and I tell you what, doing a run like that through the middle of New South Wales, you'd bloody want air conditioning, take my word for it. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the driver. You just saw the driver's cabin. Behind him are 4 screaming Jimmies, or General Motors diesel. So she probably went like last week's paycheck, but boy, she would have been noisy. But also, look at the workmanship in these carriages. Absolutely amazing. The tradesmen, once again, brilliant. The museum itself was quite extensive, guys, mainly centred around rail and maintenance thereof, but other things too. Broken Hill used to have I guess you'd call it an amusement arcade or that sort of thing, and they had some fantastic old bits and pieces from that arcade, or whatever you want to call it. But some of the things coming up, like have a look at this, you had to throw a ball or something at these prisoners, and if you got 3 of them, you got a prize. I mean, they look like some people that I've known in the past, but that's another story. And the wording on this little thing here about skating safely around women and children. Would you get away with that in these days of political correctness? I don't know, but funny what you get away with then, yet you wouldn't get away with now. Operating steam locomotives would have been a job in itself, I reckon. I mean, they're both working pretty hard, but how'd you be working in this thing in the Australian heat, shovel and coal? It'd be all right in bloody Tassie, but not up in the north. Forget it, man. Well, people, obviously in a town like Broken Hill, a lot of the local attractions are obviously based on its mining history. So everywhere you go, the heritage trails, that sort of thing, a lot of it revolves around, mining, so on and so on and so on, which is to be expected. Yeah, all very interesting and great stuff. A lot of it needs a little bit of TLC from the council on that. I'm sure they've got plenty to do, but even volunteer groups, it'd be good, but they can only do so much. But terrific, and yeah, how these guys must have lived and worked always fascinates me. It was the same in the mining spots in Tasmania and that, and of course when we're in central Victoria, very much the same. A miner would not have been a good job, and I don't know how prosperous it would have been, but I'll tell you what, coming up you're going to see a very short little bit of video, and one of the mines you just happen to look down into a guy's backyard. I could be wrong, but these two vehicles you see look very, very much like something out of Mad Max 2. I don't know, could be wrong. About 200 k's east of Broken Hill, guys, is on the Barrier Highway, is a place called Wilcannia. Very small place these days, but in its heyday, it was the third largest inland port for the riverboats, the big paddle steamers. So it was a very busy place, they used to collect the wool and all that sort of stuff and ship it downstream and all of that. But yeah, it used to be massive. It used to have 13 hotels. Today I think there's one. But yeah, one of the major ports on the Darling River. Unfortunately, as you're going to see in some videos coming up, the Darling River is dry not dry, but it's not flowing. You'll see water, but it's stationary. It's not moving. It just goes to show that this area, how drought affected it really is. I'm amazed actually there's any water in it at all. But every creek, every river you go over on the road, everything's as dry as a bone. So you can see where these poor farmers needing some help. But to look at it, it's hard to believe that paddle steamers or steamboats, whatever, paddle steamers, used to actually go up and down here. They could navigate it. So it's amazing. But you'll see in the upcoming pictures. It's not the case today, obviously. Or you couldn't even drive a speedboat up it. It's as I said, it's bone dry. The other thing about Wilcannia too, lots of beautiful old buildings. But this caravan park, they're building it up. It's relatively new. And they're doing a nice job. It's a nice park, and it's going to be really good. And we've got a little bit of video. I'm hoping it come out of at night. The kangaroos come up for a bit of a feed. So yeah, nice little place, worth a stop. Well, tubers, here we are at the Cobar Heritage Centre. Well, you guys know me. It's another museum. Talks a lot about their mining history, so on and so on and so on, and the current mining history as well. But yeah, quite interesting once again if you're into this sort of thing. Lots of good old stuff outside, lots of good restorable stuff. Of course, it's a museum, but yeah, you guys know me. I sniff these places out. And, as I say, a lot of the same equipment you see around. You would have just seen a sunshine harvester. Saw quite a few of them in Tasmania as well. So, yeah, they sort of get around those bits and pieces. But, yeah, lovely old tools, a lot of old blacksmith tools, that sort of stuff. But, yeah, the Heritage Centre, definitely worth going in and having a bit of a look at. In Cobar there, it's a couple of other things coming up too from the lookout and that, which are worthwhile. So yeah, go and have a look. Bit of weather coming over here in Cobar Tubers. Yeah, we've got a real good thunder and lightning show and a good drop of rain for the people here, so that's great. Well, tubers, here we are out in the middle of nowhere. This is the road from Cobar to Ivanhoe, 200k or 150k of dirt and 50k of asphalt. This is a bit of the dirt bit, and yeah, it's not too hot today, thank Christ, but Zuki and the Great White Elephant are doing a fantastic job. We're just going slow, a few corrugations, but yeah, have a look at it out here, bone bloody dry, not a bloody drop of water out here. Well, tubers, we finally got to the driveway of Kevin and Anne-Marie's station, Nakabo, I think it's called. So yeah, a few k's down this road, pretty long driveway, a little bit longer than mine. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna have a bit of a go at some farm life here. So this should be good. Let's go. People, Kevin's father built a bit of a church here. Beautiful job. Bringing the local community together, the neighbours, so on and so on. They had a priest. But yeah, but looking right out, this is the actual homestead area. And yeah, you can sort of see for miles in any direction, of course. And yeah, 140,000 acres, I think Kevin said. So yeah, there's quite a bit of lawn to mow. But yeah, so no, we're going to go out and have a look, and this is going to be really, really interesting. But yeah, beautiful building and that, and yeah, amazing, and it's quite a landmark from what I'm told. We're just out here on Kev's farm, guys, and here's a brilliant idea to capture the goats on this fence line here. That gate shuts, and they'll come along and they'll stick their head through, and that'll swing out, and they'll come in, and then they can't get back. Yeah, what a fantastic idea. That's great. Nice spot of rain here, guys. Here's an old International. Kevin was telling me she stopped and they were fighting bushfires, and she wouldn't restart, so it got sacrificed. But it's a nice bit of yard art. Have a look at that. Still got the V8 in it and all of that. Nice little project for someone one day. Still, maybe it's better off going back to where it came from. Yeah, what a beauty. People, Kevin's just taken me for a bit of a drive around, and this is just a little hut that his father made, and it's just if they were out overnight, and they used to shack up in this for the night, and you know, up bright and early and get on with it the next day, of course. But absolutely fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Bit of a bed and that, and yeah, it's great. Somewhere to stay a better than being out in the weather.
Can't see it too clear here, guys, but a lot of these trees have been cut off at waist height by axe, and it was long before the invention of the chainsaw, apparently. Kevin was telling me they used to cut them off there and drop them for food for the stock, mainly. I think he said the sheep. So yeah, what a job that'd be out in a 40-degree heat, eh? Chopping down trees, you beauty.
Here's a good one, guys. This is one of Kevin's goat traps. The goats come walking along and they climb up the rocks. As you can see, they go over that bit of wood and down, and of course there's no return for them. So yeah, that's nice and cunning. Yeah. You learn something new every day, guys. These pine trees, I didn't know Australia had any pine. They're actually a native pine, a cypress pine. So there you go. I didn't know Australia had native pines. Guys, this is what they call the park. And what a beautiful area. Look at that. Bit of rain and that'd green right up, and that'd be magnificent. But the red and the green in contrast look really good too. That's Kevin was telling me when they had real heavy rain, that washed out. So that's how heavy the rains were, and there's quite a bit of that. So yeah.
In some of the surrounding rocky outcrops on the property, there's some Aboriginal painting, and they've been, you know, obviously they're a heritage thing. But, so they've sort of been fenced off so the animals and people can't get in to destroy them. But yeah, a little bit hard to see, but they're definitely there.
Here's one for the restorers, guys. Massey Ferguson 65. Look at that. Old diesel. Probably needs a new fan belt. But yeah, it looks like it's complete. That'd be a great restorer. Yeah, have a look. Seems to be all there. New set of tyres, away you go. A few more projects here, tubers. Well, actually they're not projects, they're all working machinery. Komatsu and a couple of cats. Have a look at that. I think they all go, actually. Bloody beauties. Here's a bit of machinery I've never actually tried operating, but I'd love to have a go, but too many sticks. Yes, a couple old grade, or 3 old graders actually. Absolutely terrific. Probably need a bit of work. And here's one from home, guys. One from Victoria. There you go. But yeah, probably, you know, probably wouldn't take much to get them up and going, I'm tipping.
Remember what I said about too many sticks, guys? Have a look at all this lot. Work that out.
Here's a hot rod, guys. This is a Steiger, and apparently she's used for pulling out the road trains when they come in for the cattle, and if they get a bit caught up, this is what they use to pull them out. I don't think you'd be stopping that thing too quick. Have a look at it.
Here's something that I love. These are the best looking trucks ever, I reckon. just the whole style of them. I just love our model Max. She's a little bit sad. She's a bit rusty. The brakes don't work. The steering's a bit dodgy. So on and so on. Kevin reckoned the whole thing's a bit of a death trap. But you could do it up nice. You could even make a Mad Max replica out of it or something like that, you know. But from the first film. But what a beauty, air starter and everything. And I just love the look of them. I reckon they look great.
Kevin was telling me he's a pilot, guys, and yeah, that's a pretty essential piece of equipment here. I mean, it's, you know, we're talking 140,000 acres. How are you supposed to check it on the ground? You know, it's you'd need this to get you up and going. But yeah, I might keep my feet firmly planted, I think. But yeah, you know, how's that, eh? Something you don't see every day. Some of the older boys at Frankston Sand might remember these. That's a Holden red motor, and it looks like a Trimatic, and she's hooked up to a big pump, and have a look at what it's driving. So yeah, come a long way since those days, guys, but yeah, look at it. Have a look at the chain running that. What a beauty. Cars, utes, scrapers, petrol tanks, generators, quite a few generators. I don't know if they're goers or not. And a few little water pumps there. Bit more other gear. Kev's got plenty of toys here to play with, I tell you what. Righto, you Holden boys, I think I've just found a heaven for you. There's a EJ sedan. Looks not bad, you know, probably do up all right. There's an FB ute, I think it's FB, or is it EK? I don't know my Holden models too well, but what a bloody beauty that is. Have a look at that. HD or HR ute. There's a sedan over the back there. And yeah, a bit of a ripper, probably still goes quite well. 186 in it, beautiful. Old Land Rover, and another Holden ute. Someone's put a set of chromies on it, so she was probably a bit of a hottie in the day. Looks fairly good, doesn't look like there's a lot of rust or that in it. Looks fairly complete.
Well, tubers, we're going to end this one here. Yeah, I know it's a little bit of an abrupt ending, I'm sorry. That is part 36. I will get this on the YouTube as soon as I can. There is no successful Australian introductions. My apologies. I have no internet access or phone signal whatsoever. There is very hard to get anything like that out here in the middle of New South Wales. I can't even get television signal, so it's a bit isolated, but it's great. So yeah, coming up in the next in 37, we'll have a little bit of a taste of farm life here and some of the things that go on, hopefully, and hopefully a bit of shooting as well, guys, coming up. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for 36. Thank you so much to my subscribers. And I shall really look forward to you in 37. Take care, guys. See you later.